Hey guys, how's it going? Just thought I'd get a little update and you guys know what I'm doing here and kind of the vision for this project as we get moving along with it. So basically, this car was originally a turbo Trans Am. As you can see over here, original rear seats that were in it. And this is in 1980. And I decided to pull the motor out of it because I wanted to build something with a little bit more power. So what I did is I picked myself up a Pontiac 455 block, just a short block, so it had the crank, pistons and rods, no cam, no heads, no intake, or anything else. As you can see, really all of my piston or my cylinders look pretty good. A little bit of light rust on some of them. They should clean right up. The block needs a little bit of prep. It needs block needs cleaned up. Head surfaces need cleaned up a little bit. And then this block will be primed and painted. And then what I also have done is picked up this Pontiac 350. You can see the stamping in the block right here, 5.0. And this one came with cylinder heads, no intake, but I have an intake over there for it. So I've taken all of my rockers, my push rods out, my lifters, positioned them all the way that they came out of these cylinder heads. And I'll be taking these heads off. I'll be taking this cam out and looking at the numbers to see if I can use it. And I'll be taking the timing off to see if I can use it. As well as over here I have a oil pan timing cover and then a valley cover for the intake. And an oil pump that I probably will not use over here. So this is going to be a parts motor you can use to build the motor over there. Now my original plan for this motor was to be turbocharged once again, just to keep this car's roots a little bit preserved. So I've pulled out all of my pistons. They all look pretty good, decent flat top. These are bored 30 over. I don't know if you can see that. They are stamped on there. It's kind of hard to read. But these are 30 oversized pistons. Now, because I'm going to be keeping the turbocharger, or it's going to be aftermarket turbo, but get my gist. These piston rings have to be regapped, so when this motor builds the excess heat, the ring gaps do not meet and collide with each other, causing failure. So I pulled all the pistons out, be installing new rings. Got some extra parts over here. This is the intake I'm going to be running. Yes, it is very dirty. Yes, it has been sitting for several years. But this is an original 73 to 77 Pontiac, June 73 production date. I picked up for 125 bucks. Machine shop said that they would see the casting numbers if you need it, if you want to. But the machine shop has given me a quote of about 20 bucks to dip this intake in their tank, clean it up, and give it back to me. Be removing all of the deposits, all the dirt, so I can use it. So the carburetor will be taken off of this. I will not be using this Rochester. I don't know if you care to see the date or the numbers on that too. But there you go. Rochester. I actually have another one over here. Rochester. and this was a engine stand carb used on a 3-deuce setup. Will not be using that either. We're going to be going with a, going to have to be called blow through carburetor. So that's a carburetor that's been adjusted to allow boost pressure to flow through it. And then I'm going to end up going something roughly like a 850 for that. Over here I have a GM high performance HEI you're running for my distributor setup. So that's in a box waiting. As soon as I get the cam in, swap those heads over, and the heads will most likely be ported to. Now, we'll talk about wheel and tire setup. I am hoping to be able to run these Hoosiers on the rear, well, drag lights. I got me a set of skinny front runners. So those will be mounted pretty soon. I know I have a little bit of cutting to do, just because this car was not made to run something that big. Be cutting most likely a mini tub, possibly a shortened rear end. I'm not really sure yet. Interior wise, I've got a lot of work to do. I'm working on pulling the dash out. I have a black dash that will cover all of that. I have a whole new dash that's black going in instead of tan. Steering wheel and column will be replaced with tan, or with black, sorry. Carpet's getting replaced. The seats will keep. The front and rear will keep. Headliner is in the process of being taken down and being replaced. And then I have a center console over there ready to be installed. So run basic rundown on the interior. I still need trim. I still need mirrors as well. And then a lot of body work and sanding. But it's a nice base, not too much rust, all surface, but it'll be all primed and painted as well. Alright, now I'm not going to open the hood because I have a lot of stuff sitting on the hood. So I know I shouldn't have, but I do, like engine mounts and such. But the turbo should be run front facing headers off the heads. These are 6X 4 heads, by the way. You're running forward, both sides meet somewhere around here. Of course, I'll have my turbo going up to the carb hat on top of the intake. And then I should have, so all that should sit. This is a pretty long hood, should sit somewhere around here. And then my turbo exhaust, I'm either going to run out there. There is a heater core box or AC box that sits right here. That'll be removed. Or, haven't decided yet, I might take that grill out and run that turbo exhaust straight through the grill. I'm not sure yet. I'll have to figure all that out in due time. So that's the main project vision in my head. I'm not going to tell you guys the color I'm going to paint this thing yet. It's going to be a surprise. But I have a long way to go. It's going to take me quite a while to get this thing moving. Got a transmission over here too that's also going to need rebuilt. But the more you guys watch these videos and the more you guys support me, the faster things are going to be able to be moving, because the more money I'm going to have to be able to put towards nice things to go onto this piece. It means more parts, it means better parts, it means getting parts faster. Yes, I do have another one, the 97. And then I have extra parts lying around. Another tune port injection system I won't be using. Some extra brackets, small block Chevy heads, more tune port stuff, and then a flywheel for this car. All of my bearings look fine. I'm going to use those. All of my cam bearings look pretty good. I think I'm going to end up using those. If you guys didn't know, the Pontiac 350, 400, and 455 all interchange because they're all the same block. The only difference being the bore and stroke of these pistons. So the way you tell 455 is stamped 5.5 the center. Well, I showed you earlier those 350s are stamped 5.0, and then the 400s will be stamped 0.0. That's the main way to tell. Another thing, that motor over there has head bolts. I switched this motor over to head studs. So I'll be using head studs on this instead of head bolts. But other than that, pretty much everything is going to be stock except for obviously the pistons are 30 over eagle rods, scat pistons, or scat rods, eagle pistons, my bad. And then it'll be stock crank. Needs cleaned up. Bearings look good. Counterweights, rusty as all hell. So I'll be having to clean those up. And then this block will get a good makeover. Cleaned up, painted, etc. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Working on interior a little bit at a time as I get there. Working on motor a little bit at a time as I get there. The thing's gonna need all new suspension, most likely. New brakes up front. Rear suspension. All that stuff will have to be gone through before this thing hits the road. So, like I said, the more you guys watch these videos and blow it up, the more time I can dedicate to being able to work on this thing. So, like I said, I have the original turbo hood. That will not be staying. Unfortunately, I'll be having to use a cowl hood with the added tubing for the turbo run into the intake and carb, then that carb spacer I'll have on it. So I'll have to go. Got a little bit of rust, but we'll get her running back again. Those are roller rockers, by the way. I don't know if I told you guys that or not, but so keep the views coming.